In the hushed corridors of time, buried beneath the sands of secrecy, lies an enigma that has eluded human comprehension for millennia. The Anunnaki Giants. Towering over mere mortals, these colossal beings, spoken of only in whispers and legend, have remained hidden from our prying eyes until now. But what if the whispered tales of the Anunnaki Giants were not mere folklore, but startling revelations etched into the very bedrock of our existence? Join us on an archaeological expedition like no other, as we unveil the secrets of the Anunnaki Giants and reveal how this astonishing discovery could forever change the course of archaeology, biology, and the very essence of what it means to be human. The untold story of a 6,500-year-old king. Roughly 6,500 years ago, in what we now recognize as modern-day Iraq, a site of immense historical significance called Ur existed. This city held a pivotal role in the Sumerian civilization, one of the earliest known human civilizations. Under the leadership of esteemed archaeologist Sir Leonard Woolley, a team of skilled experts from the prestigious Penn and British museums embarked on a highly ambitious excavation mission. Their aim was to uncover the hidden mysteries buried beneath the sands of Ur. The team's prowess in unearthing ancient treasures was widely acknowledged. During their excavation efforts, they made a momentous discovery, an exceptionally well-preserved skeleton dating back to that ancient era. This discovery surpassed their initial expectations. They had anticipated finding mere fragments, perhaps a bone or two, but not an entire, perfectly preserved skeleton. This, however, marked just the beginning of their journey. Remarkably, the remains were found in a unique location, a floodplain, suggesting that the burial occurred in an area prone to periodic flooding. This find yielded invaluable insights into the burial customs and spiritual beliefs of Ur's ancient inhabitants during the Ubaid period. Woolley, the lead archaeologist, made a critical decision during this excavation. He chose to recover only one skeleton from the site to ensure its preservation. A meticulous approach was employed, involving the careful encapsulation of the ancient bones and surrounding soil in wax. This method aimed to protect these delicate remains from deterioration and potential damage during transportation. The meticulously preserved skeleton was then secured within a protective container and transported first to London and later to Philadelphia, cities home to renowned museums equipped to handle and study such profoundly significant archaeological finds. Upon rigorous analysis, experts theorized that the skeleton belonged to a male individual who had lived for at least 50 years and appeared to have died of natural causes. However, the extraordinary preservation of the entire skeleton hinted at something more profound, that this individual held considerable importance. Yet, the identity of this enigmatic figure remained shrouded in mystery. Various theories have been proposed, but the prevailing hypothesis suggests that this man could have been an ancient Anunnaki Nephilim king, mysterious beings of antiquity. According to certain beliefs, the Anunnaki are revered as a group of divine beings in the ancient cultures of Mesopotamia, which encompass the Sumerian, Akkadian, Assyrian, and Babylonian civilizations. These entities were seen as powerful beings who exerted significant influence over the lives of humans. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the earliest surviving literary works, the Anunnaki are depicted as 7 judges presiding over the underworld. They are portrayed as setting the land ablaze as an impending storm approaches, highlighting their immense power and their connection to natural forces. In contrast, the Nephilim are enigmatic beings mentioned in the Bible, specifically in the book of Genesis. They are described as the offspring resulting from the union between the sons of God and the daughters of men. This union gave rise to a race known for their exceptional size and strength, often referred to as giants in biblical texts. The term Nephilim itself means fallen ones or apostate, hinting at their mysterious nature. These beings are commonly depicted as formidable warriors and formidable adversaries. The connection between the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, and Gilgamesh can be traced back to ancient mythology and their intertwined roles. Gilgamesh, the central character of the Epic of Gilgamesh, is described as a demigod who ruled over Uruk, a Sumerian city, and possessed extraordinary strength and abilities, much like the Nephilim. Although Gilgamesh is not explicitly identified as a Nephilim in the biblical sense, his tremendous power parallels the traits attributed to the Nephilim. Furthermore, the Epic of Gilgamesh mentions the Anunnaki as the 7 judges of the underworld, reinforcing the idea that Gilgamesh, as the principal figure in the epic, is closely connected with these ancient deities. The epic narrative revolves around Gilgamesh's quest for immortality following the death of his friend Enkidu. This quest leads him on a profound journey to seek answers and confront the inevitability of human mortality. His journey is marked by extreme hardships, and he comes tantalizingly close to attaining immortality before ultimately losing it. Gilgamesh eventually accepts his mortal existence, and the mystery surrounding his death persists until the discovery of his tomb. While researchers have not definitively proven the identity of the occupant, compelling evidence suggests that it is indeed Gilgamesh. Furthermore, there are other documented cases providing evidence of giants, reinforcing the notion of their existence throughout history. The Giants of Lovelock Cave. Hidden deep within Lovelock Cave lies an extraordinary and enigmatic discovery that has resonated profoundly within the field of archaeology. Reports have emerged from the small town of Lovelock, Nevada, describing the uncovering of remarkably large human remains from this revered site. This revelation has both excited and unsettled researchers and scientists due to its unexpected magnitude. Lovelock Cave has been a place of deep significance in local legend, cherished as a sacred site by Native American tribes who have inhabited the region for generations. According to their beliefs, their ancestors' spirits reside within the cave, diligently protecting it from outsiders. For centuries, these stories prevented any exploration until the 20th century, when a group of archaeologists ventured into the cave in search of its hidden mysteries. Their goal was to gain insights into the lives and traditions of the indigenous tribes who once thrived in the area. However, much like Sir Leonard Woolley's surprise discovery, these explorers were unprepared to stumble upon giant remains. This unprecedented find has led experts to consider the possibility of an entirely different human species evolving alongside conventional humans. Some even draw connections to the ancient concept of the Nephilim, yet confirming these skeletons as Nephilim remains uncertain. The larger question raised revolves around the fate of these giants, as they would have possessed significantly greater physical abilities than average humans. How did they go extinct while regular humans continued to evolve? Various theories offer plausible explanations. In certain ancient myths, giants were depicted as malevolent beings, leading to a catastrophic flood sent by a higher deity to cleanse the earth. This flood wiped out giants and regular-sized humans alike. The biblical story of Noah's Ark is a well-known example of this narrative, illustrating how a righteous man and pairs of animals survived in an enormous ark while the rest of the world perished under the floodwaters. The fall of the giants. In Greek mythology, giants were frequently depicted as formidable adversaries of the deities. They engaged in fierce battles with the Olympian deities, which culminated in epic conflicts known as the Gigantomachy. These confrontations between giants and deities played a pivotal role in the potential decline and extinction of the giant population. The Gigantomachy was a monumental war between the giants and the Olympian deities, led by Zeus. The giants, referred to as the Gigantes, were offspring of Gaia, the earth itself. Their primary aim was to challenge the authority of the Olympians and overthrow their rule. This conflict unfolded on a titanic scale, with the giants displaying incredible strength and power. Their audacious objective was to storm Mount Olympus, the divine dwelling place, in a bid to dethrone Zeus and seize control of the cosmos. In response, the Olympian deities, under the leadership of Zeus and with the support of other divine beings, fiercely resisted the giants' incursion and their destructive impact on the earth. Paradoxically, this resistance only prolonged the war further. Ultimately, the Olympian deities emerged victorious. Zeus, wielding his lightning bolts, led the charge that defeated the giants and their leader, Alcyoneus. As a consequence of their defeat in this epic war, many giants perished, while others were taken as prisoners. Even those giants who might not have played a major role in the conflict were exiled to remote and inhospitable regions where they eventually faded into extinction. The deadly dance with epidemics. Even if we exclude the factors of floods and wars from the equation, there exist numerous other potential catalysts for the substantial decline of the giants, notwithstanding their immense stature. It is imperative to remember that their colossal size did not render them impervious. Giants, like humans in many mythologies, were susceptible to narratives involving catastrophic diseases and plagues. These epidemics could have exerted a profound influence on the giant population, precipitating a significant reduction in their numbers. Given the vast physical dimensions of giants, they may have been more prone to certain illnesses owing to their distinctive physiology. Furthermore, the close interactions between giants and regular-sized humans, whether harmonious or adversarial, could have served as conduits for the transmission of diseases between these two groups. The ramifications of such epidemics would have been catastrophic, inducing widespread sickness, anguish, and mortality among both giants and humans. Entire communities might have faced obliteration, leading to a swift decline in the once thriving giant population. Survivors would have grappled with the dual burdens of grieving for their departed kin and the formidable task of rebuilding their societies. Notably, when examining historical texts or depictions from the supposed era of giants, a consistent theme emerges. There was invariably a significantly larger number of regular-sized individuals than giants. Therefore, even if a disease affected an equivalent number of individuals, the giants' comparatively smaller population at the outset would have endured a more substantial blow. Confronting nature's cataclysms. In ancient legends, natural disasters such as volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and cosmic events were sometimes thought to contribute to the extinction of giants. These catastrophic events would have presented significant challenges to giant populations, making their survival increasingly precarious. Specifically, volcanic eruptions were seen as powerful and unpredictable natural forces. In certain myths, giants were closely associated with volcanic regions, which might have seemed advantageous to them. However, this connection may have ultimately led to their downfall. For example, a volcanic eruption could have released torrents of lava, ash, and toxic gases, engulfing giant inhabited territories and causing widespread devastation. Earthquakes, often associated with volcanic activity, could have shaken the very foundations of giant habitats, triggering landslides, collapsing structures, and disrupting the delicate ecological balance. Even if giants didn't directly perish due to earthquakes, the subsequent ecosystem collapse would have made their continued existence impossible. Cosmic events like meteor strikes or celestial disturbances have also been linked to giant fates in mythology. However, there's a possibility that giants didn't simply go extinct but underwent transformations. In some myths, giants were believed to have interbred with humans, resulting in offspring with a mix of giant and human traits. Over time, these hybrid populations likely integrated with regular humans, blurring the line between giants and humans. This suggests that many of us might be distant relatives of giants without realizing it. Consequently, it's possible that the historical tombs we've discovered could have belonged to giants, but due to the gradual blending of physical characteristics, distinguishing them from regular humans became increasingly challenging. Navigating a world turned upside down. Imagine a twist of fate where giants managed to survive alongside us today. This thought experiment prompts us to consider the significant implications of such coexistence. Firstly, these colossal giants would disrupt our ecosystems due to their immense size, demanding substantial amounts of food and resources. This could cause disruptions in local ecosystems and food chains, leading to imbalances in species dynamics within their habitats. They might even become formidable apex predators, intensifying competition with other large animals for sustenance. Such heightened competition would reshape the interactions and survival strategies of various species. Beyond ecological concerns, coexisting with such massive beings would pose unique challenges for human society. It would require careful resource sharing and harmonious relationships. Adapting to this new reality would be a complex endeavor. This scenario also raises ethical and existential questions. The vast size difference between humans and giants could evoke feelings of apprehension and insecurity. History shows that when faced with seemingly insurmountable threats, humans often marshal their resources to eliminate them. So, pondering a world where giants and humans coexist forces us to confront not just ecological and sociological challenges, but also the age-old dilemma of how humanity deals with the unfamiliar, especially entities of vastly different scales. Gigantic challenges, monumental solutions. In certain cultures, giants have long been revered and elevated as mighty and divine beings, owing to their enormous size and unmatched strength. These physical attributes often led to the belief that giants possessed supernatural powers and profound wisdom beyond that of ordinary-sized humans. This deep reverence was expressed through the construction of temples and shrines dedicated to giants, as well as the performance of rituals aimed at seeking their favor and protection. However, giants were not always seen with reverence. In various cultural stories, they took on roles as formidable adversaries, or even malevolent antagonists. Tales of epic battles between giants and humans, similar to the legendary gigantomachy in Greek mythology we discussed earlier, went beyond mere myth and held significant meaning. With the growth of the global population over time, the consequences of such confrontations would have even greater implications. Yet it's important to understand that the existence of giants wouldn't necessarily bring only adversity. Their presence would require innovative solutions to deal with the challenges and opportunities they present. Throughout history, human technological advancements have arisen in response to pressing problems, and we can expect the same here. For example, the initial challenge of communication would be substantial due to the vast size difference between giants and humans. This would likely lead to the development of innovative communication tools, such as long-range signaling devices or specialized languages designed to bridge this gap. Transportation would also undergo a revolution. Conventional modes of travel might not suffice for giants, leading to the development of larger, more robust vehicles designed to accommodate their immense dimensions. This could involve the creation of advanced transportation methods, like oversized vehicles and even aerial crafts, to facilitate interaction and movement over long distances. These innovations would benefit not only giants but also regular-sized humans by efficiently transporting large groups of people simultaneously. This transformation would represent a significant departure from our current societal landscape. Additionally, agriculture and resource management would undergo substantial improvements to meet the colossal appetites of giants while sustaining the needs of regular-sized humans. This increased demand could drive advancements in agriculture, including more efficient irrigation systems, higher crop yields, and improved food storage techniques. In essence, agriculture as a whole might become considerably more efficient, with giants assisting in tasks traditionally requiring machinery, leading to quicker job completion. The giant graveyard of Giaja. At first glance, this might appear as a story plucked from history's archives. However, tangible evidence of coexistence between humans and remarkably tall individuals has emerged from the past, though not quite in the manner one might anticipate. In the serene village of Giaja, nestled within China's Shandong province, a team of dedicated archaeologists has been diligently conducting excavations at a late Neolithic settlement. This site has yielded a wealth of fascinating discoveries, including the remains of 104 dwellings, 205 graves, and 20 sacrificial pits. Among these captivating findings, one recent revelation has left experts baffled. A burial site containing the remains of exceptionally tall men, dating back approximately 5,000 years. These remains were laid to rest in substantial tombs, and it's worth noting that these men stood out for their remarkable height in the context of their time. Some measured as tall as 5 feet 9 inches, with one individual towering at approximately 6 feet 2 inches or 1.9 meters. A stature that may seem ordinary today, but was nearly double the typical height for that era. Feng Hui, the head of Shandong University's School of History and Culture, explains that the estimation of the taller individual's height is based on bone structure, suggesting that had he been alive, his stature would likely have exceeded 1.9 meters. Researchers have put forth a theory to explain the remarkable height of these men. It is surmised that they may have held high-status positions, affording them access to better sustenance compared to their contemporaries. The presence of grand tombs further supports the idea that they belong to the upper echelons of society. Furthermore, Intentional damage observed on certain remains and artifacts within these tombs hints at potential power struggles among high-ranking individuals following the burials. Interestingly, height carries significant cultural significance in Shandong province. Nevertheless, even with their exceptional stature, the men interred in the Giaja graveyard would not have been comparable to Shandong's most renowned historical figure Confucius, shaping the moral compass of China. According to historical accounts, Confucius, a native of the region, achieved remarkable stature, measuring an astounding 9 feet and 6 inches. He is also commonly known as Confuzi or Kongzi. Confucius was a distinguished Chinese philosopher and educator who lived during the spring and autumn period of ancient China. His birth occurred in 551 BCE in the state of Liu, which is presently a part of Chufu in Shandong province, China. Confucius holds an enduring position as one of the most influential figures in Chinese history, leaving an indelible impact on Chinese culture, philosophy, and education. During his youth, Confucius pursued a broad range of subjects encompassing literature, history, and music. He harbored a profound passion for learning and sought to comprehend the fundamental principles governing the universe and human behavior. His core belief rested in the paramount importance of education and the cultivation of moral character as pivotal means to attain social harmony and enhance societal well-being. In pursuit of these ideals, Confucius embarked on extensive travels throughout China, actively seeking opportunities to offer counsel to different rulers and advocate for his notions regarding virtuous governance and ethical conduct. However, he encountered formidable challenges and was not always welcomed by the ruling elite, who often favored maintaining their authority through force and coercion rather than adhering to moral principles. Nevertheless, despite facing adversity, Confucius remained unwavering in his dedication to teaching and transmitting his wisdom to future generations. He garnered a devoted following of disciples who gathered around him to study his teachings. These disciples later compiled his sayings and ideas into a comprehensive collection known as the Analects, which would become one of the most pivotal texts of Confucianism. Confucius's philosophical tenets were fundamentally centered on the concept of Ren, often interpreted as benevolence or humaneness. He advocated for the cultivation of virtues such as compassion and respect among individuals to foster a harmonious society. Furthermore, he emphasized the importance of upholding traditions, family values, and social hierarchies as mechanisms for preserving order and stability in society. Throughout his lifetime, Confucius underscored the enduring value of learning and self-cultivation. He firmly believed that education served as the cornerstone of personal development and societal progress. Over the course of more than 2 millennia, Confucianism has evolved into a profound philosophical and ethical system that continues to exert a profound influence on Chinese culture, ethics, and governance. Today, Confucius is revered as one of the preeminent thinkers in Chinese history. His teachings endure as a lasting legacy, shaping East Asian cultures and continuing to impact moral values, social norms, and educational practices, not only in China but also in other nations with Confucian traditions. The colossal mystery of Monte Prama, the Confucius Temple in Khufu, and the annual Confucius birthday ceremony stand as enduring tributes, demonstrating how his memory and teachings continue to be revered. It's essential to acknowledge that Confucius was not a mere myth or legend. He was a real historical figure who left a tangible impact on his region. While there have been others like him, perhaps not as globally influential but certainly significant within their respective eras, we are now delving into a captivating discovery at Monte Prama, Cabras, Sardinia. Here we find ancient giants from the Bronze Age, dating back more than 3,000 years. These colossal figures, known as colossi, represent the oldest known human-shaped sculptures in the Mediterranean, towering at over 8 feet in height. These limestone giants served as guardians for an ancient necropolis and bear a striking resemblance to boxers, each equipped with curved shields on their left arms. The discovery includes an astonishing 15 heads and 22 torsos, emphasizing that these were not just a few isolated individuals, but rather the epitome of their kind. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. It's time for today's topic. In this intriguing image, we witness the remarkable discovery of what seems to be an ancient king from the depths of history. After careful examination, experts believe the remains belong to a man who lived for over 50 years and passed away naturally. What sets this find apart is the astonishing preservation of the entire skeleton, suggesting the person's significant stature. Yet, the identity of this mysterious figure remains a puzzle. Many ideas have been put forth, but the prevailing theory points to the possibility that this man might have been an ancient Anunnaki Nephilim king. Who were these enigmatic Nephilim? Well, they were a legendary group of beings mentioned in ancient texts. If true, this discovery could rewrite our understanding of history and the tales of these ancient rulers. The unraveling of this enigma promises to be a captivating journey into our past, shedding light on a forgotten chapter of human history. The Monta Prama Necropolis. The Monta Prama Necropolis is a site with 3 distinct phases, each representing different burial practices and traditions. The colossal statues, it appears, were likely broken in ancient times and subsequently placed either atop or in proximity to the tombs. Archaeologists have explored various theories concerning the purpose and demise of these statues. Some experts posit that these statues might have served as markers for a sacred space, or adorned the slabs covering the tombs. Alternatively, their fragmentation could be attributed to internal conflicts among the Nuragic people, Carthaginians or Phoenicians. Remarkably, the necropolis is notable for its scarcity of women's burials, with predominantly young men interred. This pattern suggests the possibility that it may have functioned as a shrine honoring heroic figures. It's worth noting that not all giant statues found in history have received such treatment. The Channel Islands Giant Skeleton Saga. The Channel Islands, situated off the coast of California, have been the site of both intriguing and controversial discoveries concerning unusually large skeletons. This narrative commences with the account of German naturalist Dr. Fürstinen, who in 1913 reported the unearthing of an 8-foot-tall skeleton on Catalina Island. Alongside this remarkable find, Dr. Fürstinen also discovered various artifacts, such as mortar pestles and arrowheads. Furthermore, he encountered a legend in Mexico regarding a noble and giant race that once inhabited the island, long before the arrival of European settlers. Amateur archaeologist Ralph Glidden played a pivotal role in the subsequent series of discoveries that occurred between 1919 and 1930. While employed by the High Foundation of New York, Glidden unearthed and meticulously collected a total of 3,781 skeletons across the Channel Islands. Among these findings, a particularly striking discovery was a 9-foot 2-inch skeleton, along with several others measuring over 7 feet in height. One noteworthy instance involved Glidden finding the skeletal remains of a young girl of apparent high social status within a large funeral urn, surrounded by the remains of 68 children. Following this, more than 3,000 additional skeletons were uncovered throughout the island. It is worth noting that most of the male skeletons averaged around 7 feet in height, with one individual reaching an impressive height of 7 feet 8 inches, measured from the top of the head to the ankle. The global quest for gigantic skeletons. Another remarkable discovery involved the unearthing of a 9-foot 2-inch tall skeleton. Even if we shift our focus to a completely different region of the world, evidence of giants' existence still emerges. In 2012, a truly astonishing find occurred near Rome, Italy. An intact ancient skeleton of an individual with gigantism was unearthed. This person stood at an impressive height of 6 feet 8 inches, a veritable giant when considering the standards of 3rd century AD. Rome, where the average male height was merely around 5 feet. Gigantism is an exceedingly rare condition that originates in childhood, initiated by a malfunctioning pituitary gland resulting in abnormal growth. The discovery of such skeletons remains infrequent, primarily due to the rarity of gigantism itself. Presently, only about 3 individuals per million worldwide are affected by this condition. The ancient giant of Fidini. Prior to the discovery in Rome, there were 2 partial skeletons found in Poland and Egypt that were considered likely cases of gigantism. However, the Roman specimen marked the first definitive instance from antiquity. The excavation leading to this discovery occurred in 1991 at a necropolis in Fidini, a region indirectly under Roman administration. Initially, attention was drawn to the unusually large size of the man's tomb. It was only during a subsequent anthropological examination that the distinctive characteristics of the bones were revealed. These remains were then sent to a team led by paleopathologist Simona Manozzi at the University of Pisa in Italy for more extensive analysis. The team of experts closely scrutinized the bones and identified signs of skull damage consistent with a pituitary tumor. Other findings, such as disproportionately long limbs and indications of continuous bone growth even into early adulthood, further supported this diagnosis. The giant is believed to have died between the ages of 16 and 20, which raises the possibility of health issues associated with gigantism, including cardiovascular and respiratory problems. Charles Byrne and the fight to rest in peace. In 1783, Charles Byrne, famously known as the Irish Giant, passed away at the tender age of 22. Remarkably, he stood at a towering height of 7 feet 7 inches, with some sources even claiming he reached a staggering 8 feet 2 inches or 8 feet 4 inches. Throughout most of his life, Byrne was a subject of intense curiosity due to his extraordinary stature. As his health began to deteriorate, he made arrangements with his acquaintances to prevent the renowned surgeon John Hunter from acquiring his body for anatomical study. Byrne's dying wish was to be laid to rest at sea, sealed in a lead coffin, far from the prying eyes of the curious. He ardently desired to evade post-mortem dissection. Regrettably, despite his efforts, Hunter ultimately acquired Byrne's remains. Some allege that Hunter possibly bribed the undertaker to surrender Byrne's body and orchestrate a simulated burial at sea using a coffin filled with stones. However, the Royal College of Surgeons of England suggests an alternative possibility, that Hunter may have persuaded Byrne's friends, who were already exhibiting the body for their own gain, to part with it. Irrespective of the circumstances, the preparation of Byrne's skeleton for exhibition was a grisly procedure involving the boiling of his remains to separate flesh from bone. Following this macabre process, Byrne's skeletal remains were ready for display. They have since been showcased at a museum in London under the ownership of the Royal College of Surgeons of England for over 2 centuries. In recent times, there has been a growing public outcry regarding the ethical implications of exhibiting human remains, including Byrne's skeleton, in museums. As part of a museum renovation project, the Royal College of Surgeons of England has announced that upon reopening, Byrne's remains will no longer be put on public display. While acquiring specimens through dubious means during the 18th and 19th centuries was deemed acceptable, there is a pressing need to reevaluate the ethical considerations surrounding specimens from that era that are still in existence today. Do you think the existence of Anunnaki giants could challenge established theories about the origins of human civilization? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.